Hi, welcome back to Wikipedia. In this episode, we're going to recap the movie Final Destination 3. This episode is going to be a little creepy, but as usual, please relax and enjoy the spoiler ride. In March 2005, Wendy, a student in high school, and her classmates celebrate their graduation by visiting an amusement park in Pennsylvania. As they enjoy their time at the park, Wendy snaps a photo of her companions riding the high dive ride with her camera. Shortly after taking their photo, she realizes that the ride's name has changed to high dive with the letter V missing, but she doesn't pay it any attention. Wendy's boyfriend, Jason, convinces Wendy, her best friend, Carrie's boyfriend, Kevin, and their friends to ride the roller coaster known as the Devil's Flight before they leave the park. Wendy admits to Jason that she's having a horrible feeling about the ride, but still goes on it with her buddies. Before the ride even starts, Wendy has a premonition that everyone on board will die, and the hydraulic supporting the roller coaster's restraints encourages brake during the ride. As the ride attendant prepares to hit the start button, Wendy panics and cries.
Oh, it's gonna crash, it's gonna crash!
She is forced to leave the ride in the process. This causes confusion on the ride platform. Lewis and Kevin get into a fight as a result, which prevents them from riding the roller coaster. Due to the awful events on the ride platform, 7 more individuals decide not to ride the roller coaster, including best friends Ashley and Ashlyn, graduate Frankie, and goth couple Ian and Aaron. Because of the conflict, Jason tries to exit the coaster, but is unable to get the operator's notice. The remaining riders start yelling.
Let's go! Hey, whoa! Let's go!
The ride operator presses the start button and the ride begins. Wendy realizes Jason and Carrie are still on the roller coaster as the security guards direct her and the other students out of the ride. She yells as she races back to the ride platform in a state of panic, but the security guard forces her outside of the ride exit. As Wendy and Kevin are being escorted away from the ride by the security guards, Wendy's premonition comes true as the roller coaster collapses, killing Jason, Carrie, and the other riders. Soon after the incident, Wendy is at school when Kevin approaches her. He expresses concern for her and the loss of Jason and Carrie, but Wendy demands privacy and walks away. She is stopped by Ashley and Ashlyn as she is making her way to her car. They extend an invitation to join them for a tanning session and give her their phone number, which she accepts and crumples as she walks on. Kevin confronts her once more as she approaches her car and claims that a similar incident with a specific plane called Flight 180 and the 7 survivors who mysteriously died in the order they would have if they were on the plane happened before, leading him to believe they might be in a similar situation now. Wendy is shocked at Kevin's admission and she leaves enraged. Arriving at their preferred tanning facility while enjoying Slurpees, Ashley and Ashlyn are eager to get tanned for their graduation. The owner tells them to throw away their drinks as he leaves to finish a call. Ashley calmly pretends to throw her drink away and they both continue to the tanning room where they proceed to disrobe. A tube of lotion is placed under the door to keep it open when the owner exits. The door then closes and locks as the lotion squirts out. Ashley places her drink in the tanning room, directly over a cooling fan for the tanning beds. She also grabs for a CD on the shelf by leaning against it, adjusting it slightly on the side. Meanwhile, Julie, Wendy's sister, approaches her at home and asks for a loan of the camera Wendy had used the night of the accident to take pictures during their graduation ceremony. Wendy says she can have it, but she chooses to charge it first. Before leaving her room, Julie lends Wendy her alleged good luck bracelet, which she claims was given to her by her grandmother in her will. After plugging in the charger, Wendy starts to review the images she shot the night of the accident. She finds a snapshot of Jason with the foreboding of the roller coaster behind him that is about to smash his skull as the light bulb dims in and out. She then examines the image of Ashley and Ashlyn, which seems overexposed and evocative of fire. She quickly looks up their phone number and starts a call in order to alert them of the omen she has seen in their picture, believing they may be close to their deaths. Meanwhile, Ashley's Slurpee has begun to leave a water residue, which leaks into the cooling unit and forces the temperature to rise somewhat. Following this, A cooling fan knocks over a cold rock and knocks over a plant, causing the plant to tumble onto the adjusted shelf, collapsing it. As the temperature rises quickly, the panel from the shelf slips right between the handles of both bears, sealing Ashley and Ashlyn in. Skin starts to bubble, and both girls groan and scream as the fire breaks out and catches both bears on fire. The owner hears their shouts from outside and rushes to open the door, but he is unable to do so since it is locked. Just as Wendy had foreseen in the images, the girls are burnt alive in the scorching tanning bears. During the girls' cemetery funeral, enraged Ian questions the preacher's remarks about the quantity of death, forcing Lewis and Kevin to leave him away. After the funeral, Wendy phones Kevin, only for Kevin to find her knelt by Jason's grave. When he approaches her, Wendy tells Kevin that ever since the night of the accident, she has always blamed herself and felt an odd presence around her, when suddenly, a strange wind rushes over both of them. She starts to show him the photos she took of all the survivors of the roller coaster crash on the night of the accident, which she believes illustrate what would happen to them before they pass away. Wendy drops the photos when she becomes weak from starvation. With Wendy's photographs, Wendy and Kevin set out to save the other survivors because they are now certain that death is after them. While traveling, they attempt to glance at Frankie's photo, but their car nearly collided with a truck, causing the driver to swerve out of the path. They stop at a nearby drive-thru restaurant to look at Frankie's photo more closely, unaware that Frankie is driving ahead of them in a sports coupe. A car comes up behind them, prompting them to go forward to place their order as they are preoccupied examining Frankie's photo for any indications of his death. When they pass the word control, glitching out of the restaurant sign as Kevin places his order, suddenly an abrupt car comes up to their side, blocking their exit. Shortly, the Leathermans turn around to look at me, but the radio starts playing. As they turn around, Wendy and Kevin are startled to see an autonomous truck approaching them. They are unable to get out of their car, so they hurriedly honk at Frankie to move aside, but he shows them this sign instead. The couple behind them reposition their car. Wendy and Kevin also slam their windshield and get out before the oncoming truck smashes their car. After the cars collide, Kevin's car is forced to throw his engine out the front. Frankie is fatally killed as the engine slides along the back of his car and slams into the back of his car with a fan. When Wendy and Kevin go to see who the deceased is, they are surprised to see that it is Frankie. After speaking with the coroner after the incident, Kevin started to have doubts about Wendy's images because they couldn't uncover any indication of how Frankie was going to die in his picture. In order to determine who is next on death's list, the two start looking through the pictures to see who was sitting where on the roller coaster. They are shocked when they see another photo of Frankie, this time with a fan behind his head, precisely as he did when he passed away. This discovery increases Kevin's confidence in Wendy's photographs again. They quickly return to a picture of Lewis and find that it features a sobbing bear, a caricature of the Sultan with swords, and a weight falling on his head. Lewis is working out when they decide to drop by and tell him about the signs of death in his photo. Lewis rejects their arguments and continues working out. Just like the omens in Lewis' photo predict, Wendy knows that there is a large bear statue and a sign with the loose walls in the weight room just above Lewis's head. As Lewis continues to work out vigorously with the other team members nearby, the swords above his weight machine start to jiggle free. Unexpectedly, one of Lewis's teammates tries the bear statue's paw out of place, striking a weightlifter in the face and causing him to drop his waist. The swords fall, missing Lewis, but instead cutting off a cable on the machine he is working on, unbeknownst to him, Wendy, and Kevin. Taking advantage of a seeming victory over death, Lewis attempts to lift the weights one last time, only to have the two weights on top crash his head to pieces. Wendy and Kevin talk about the strange events on the drive to the hardware store where Ian and Aaron work. They meet Aaron and later find Ian shooting at pigeons with a nail gun. Ian sets the nail gun down and makes fun of Wendy and Kevin while making light of the happenings, but a forklift soon starts moving and knocking things around, which quickly causes some accidents, forcing it to start lifting on a wall loaded with sharp sticks and pieces of flat plywood. Wendy notices the sharp stakes in Ian and Aaron's picture, while Ian muses and makes theories over the design of death. The sharp stakes and plywood sheets begin to fall towards Ian, but Wendy prevents him from experiencing his death by shoving him out of the way of the fallen objects. Nevertheless, the fallen plywood sheets quickly begin to stack on top of one another, and Erin is blinded when a piece of wood flies off and pierces a bag of sawdust. She falls backwards and hits Iron's nail gun with the back of her skull as 9 shots are fired through her head and hand, killing her. Iron now stares at Wendy in horror and starts yelling in shock. After a 10-hour police questioning, Wendy and Kevin separate, with Iron secretly glancing at Wendy from his truck. At the end, Wendy takes a nap in her house and Julie arrives to take her lucky bracelet. After departing, Wendy awakens and discovers that Julie and her friend Perry also ended the ride without anyone's notice after spotting the bracelet in one of the photos, making them the next people on death's list to be killed. She calls Kevin and let him know about this discovery, as well as the fact that his face appears to be very bright in his photo, believing his death may be caused by something brilliantly lit. It's then that Kevin informs her that he's overlooking security at the Colonial Fair, complete with fireworks, and Wendy starts heading out the door to the fair to save Kevin and her sister. Soon, the song she heard at the drive-thru begins playing again, and she notices a vehicle following her. She almost hits a wolf in the middle of the road but continues to the fair. At the fair, Kevin tries his possible best to stop any fireworks from accidentally going off in order to escape his death. As he approaches Julie at the fair with her friends Perry and Amber to inform her that she is the next person on death's list, she walks away infuriated. The cannon is sideways due to an actor at the fair leaving his lighting stick in front of it, which causes a cannonball to fly out and topple one of the firework trailer cars. Wendy arrives, worried that Kevin might be already killed by the fireworks. A couple of youngsters light off some fireworks as the fair display gets underway and the fireworks start to go off, scaring a nearby horse. With a wooden stick trailing behind it, the horse starts to charge through the crowd. Julie ends up with a rope knotted around her neck and almost gets impaled on a rake that the horse jumps over. But Kevin is able to free her, saving her from her sudden death. However, Dave skips to Perry, who was seated next to Julie on the roller coaster. As Perry understands that she's next to die and begins standing up, the horse, still scared, pulls a flagpole off a trailer, which propels itself into Perry's back, killing her. Shortly after Perry dies, Kevin is almost killed by an exploding propane canister, but Wendy saves him. Ian, who is distraught and believes he will be the reason for Wendy's death because she was wearing a shirt with his last name in her photo, runs into Julie and Wendy as they start to haul Kevin away. At the same time, a cloud of fireworks starts to sway and directs the fireworks directly at them. When the fireworks go off, Wendy, Julie and Kevin dive to the ground. Ian is completely spared, but the fireworks hit and loosen a crane and cherry picker behind him. Ian believes he is safe and that Wendy is last and next on death's list. However, the loose crane launches a sign downward, cutting Ian in half, killing him and breaking the cycle of death. 5 months later, Wendy is shown setting up a new home and life with her friends. When riding the metro with her roommate Laura and her friend Sean, she notices more ominous omens. Just as she is ready to exit, Wendy suddenly reconnects with Julie and Kevin, who had also boarded the train. Wendy experiences yet another vision of the train, collapsing and killing everyone within. Kevin notices this, and together with Wendy and Julie, they hurriedly attempt to halt the train as it is about to crash out of terror, but their fates are unknown. The end. This was one creepy ride of a recap ride. Hope you enjoyed it. Kindly subscribe to this channel for more amazing recap videos like these. Don't forget to also like this video and leave your thoughts and recommendations in the comment section below. See you in the next video. Thanks for watching.